So let's talk about the market update, and let's talk about what that looks like. I'm going to put up some pretty big and aggressive numbers here when I talk about the 2021 forecast. So when we talk about the 2021 forecast, I'm going to break that out into the volume, so how many houses we will sell here in Texas. And then I'm going to also break it out into the sales price. So it's my opinion that as we finish 2021, we'll see probably an increase of up to 20% in year-over-year sales volume, even with as little inventory as we have right now. But the reason why I have the sales price going up even higher, it is exactly because of that inventory situation. So I'm forecasting the sales price will be up somewhere around 25% year over year. Why am I making a forecast that is that big and that bold? What's causing that? The influx of people moving here and the lack of inventory, right? We have a very difficult inventory situation right now. Every challenge, right, also creates an opportunity. This is a disruption. Never let a good crisis go to waste. So we'll talk about some of the different strategies you can use right now in spite of the fact that we have very little inventory. But if you're curious about why do we not have enough inventory, a lot of people will call it one thing or two things, but I've identified about 13 different things that have come in to affect our inventory. So we also, and I'll walk through what some of those are. The uncertainty of what's coming definitely paralyzes sellers. So over the last 18 months, has anyone here had the thought that I might lose my job? Oh, really? Oh, really? So note to everyone who can't see the audience right now, these are all the super performers, and none of them ever were worried about losing their job, and none of them are also lying. So what I found is over the last year, there were a lot of times people were worried, like especially 18 months ago, am I going to lose my job, right? Or what's going to happen with my company? So when you have that that fear or that uncertainty, do you want to make a bunch of moves? Hey, I don't know if I'm going to keep my job over the next 6 months. Let's do something crazy, like let's buy and sell a house. Or do they say what? Hey, let's kind of sit back and see what's happening, right? So typically what happens is when there's uncertainty, that paralyzes people. And also the question of, if I did put my house on the market, are the buyers that are coming into my home, are they healthy? Or am I going to have to hand sanitize my entire house after they leave it, right? And then will that stream of buyers who are coming in, will that interrupt my day? Right? Can you go into Starbucks and just sit there? No, they've taken out all the chairs, right? I went to an ice cream store the other day and they didn't have any chairs. I should not have been there in the first place. That should have been my first signal to get out. But I went in and there were no chairs. So where are you going to go, right? There's no place to go. Is it going to interrupt your meeting? You guys are on Zoom meetings all day long. I'm on Zoom meetings all day long. Luckily, our son is at a school that he's live and in person, but a lot of the schools are reverting back to online school. So what if your child has a test? Is it going to interrupt his or her day as well? So that's causing people to say, hey, let's just wait until we kind of get through this, right? And then those low interest rates have motivated buyers to come into the market, but they've also motivated sellers to do what? Refinance their houses. So more homeowners are keeping houses that they already had and maybe turning them into rental properties as well. And the last market cycle changed how builders develop forever. It used to be that I don't care if we don't have any contracts. I don't care if we only have one person walking in here for every 25 houses that we're putting on the ground. Now they won't build a property until they have 25 or one contract and 25 backup contracts, right, that they've got in their drawer right before they'll build something. So it's changed how builders develop. And I'm thinking I've got a little bit of an issue here with the screen, so I can see it okay on my view. There we go. So let me try to go back to this. Yeah, for some reason it just kind of clicked off on the on that view here. So we'll take a look at that, see if we can get that back for you guys. And then of course we have a labor shortage. So there's some of those immigration policies Border crossing insecurity is stopping some of those would-be laborers come over. And then we also have how we have socialized every single person in America now, which is don't work with your hands. Instead, go to school and get a good education, right? And then go and work for the man instead. Well, as it turns out, plumbers who are just getting out of school, maybe spending 6 months in an apprenticeship and school and an apprenticeship, are making probably $70,000 a year, while people who are in school for 4 years are racking up a lot of debt. So we're seeing that as well. Material shortage, so supply chain disruption. The reason why a lot of houses can't get on the market right now is because they're still waiting for that back order dishwasher, refrigerator, over-the-counter microwave, right? Cabinets, doorknobs, paint, right? All of these things are slowing down and causing that supply chain disruption is affecting the housing market as well. Of course, prices have gone up also for those laborers, for the materials, and also for land. City permitting, especially here in Austin. Does anybody here work for the city of Austin? Okay, no one's going to admit it because we would literally get a rope, okay? Because think about, and if anybody's gotten a permit in here, think about their permitting process, right? Very difficult to get through. On one side of the city's mouth, they're saying, we want affordable housing. And on the other side of the city's mouth, they're failing you at every inspection point, and they're really giving you a lot of headache at that individual level, at that property level. So those things we're seeing a conflict as well. And then we have something that I'll call the Elon effect. So Elon puts on a cowboy hat, sits with Greg Abbott and says, I'm a Texan now. And then what happens? Every other license plate you see is from California. I'm also seeing a ton of New York license plates lately as well. Some owners want to keep their starter homes, so their first homes as their rental properties, or keep them as Airbnbs. Let me see if I can get this back up. No, sorry guys, we're still going to work on that, see if we can get those slides back up for you. We also have institutional buyers that are competing for opportunities. So you have a lot of hedge fund buyers who are willing to pay 100% of retail price. Though in Austin, actually, properties are selling for about 106% of what they're listed for. And then many houses are not going into foreclosure because of some of those government policies. And man, now we're starting to see, today's the first Tuesday of the month, now we're starting to see some of those properties start to go into foreclosure. But it's not like they're all going to hit at once. They're going to hit over time, especially as some of the programs that some of these folks are in for loan modifications start to go through their process. What is one of the coolest things ever about that, though, is this. I remember when I was buying houses, for example, in 2010, 2011, 2012, where sellers had absolutely no equity. Where literally we almost couldn't even afford to buy their house, let alone give them any money at the closing table because they had such little equity. What's changed now is they have a lot of equity now. So now we can actually give them a great big check at the time that we're buying it. So that is one of the benefits of what we've seen as well. And I know as it was, I think 103 degrees yesterday. You don't remember the snowstorm back in February, but that did take houses off the market. And it did show that all of a sudden, in addition to all the other supply chain disruptions we had, as it turned out, we also had an issue when it comes to copper, right? We had a copper shortage and we also had a plumber shortage. So all of those things have affected our ability to have a normal market, right? And it's not just one, but it's a combination of all of these things. And guys, as we go through the presentation, I also want to let you know a little bit about our association. So one of the things that our association, 18 months ago, our philosophy was, hey, come to a meeting every single month and we'll teach you how to invest in real estate. And every meeting we would typically go from anywhere from 2 hours to about 4 hours. But how long does it take to get enough information to feel comfortable and to feel confident to invest in real estate? It takes at least 20 to 30 hours of really getting into all of the details to be able to do that. So what we've done is, instead of making you guys all wait to find out what it takes and what it's like and what you need to know to be a real estate investor, the thing that we've done to improve our offering to you guys and to make it more valuable so that you guys are ready to go immediately is we have a 3-day training. So in that 3-day training, we're going to share with you all of what we normally would have shared over the course of about 3 years of just meeting here live and in person, right? So we want to give you guys the fastest track to knowledge, which is the fastest track to taking action and being successful. So what we do is we do 3-day training where we talk about the marketing strategies we use. We talk about the purchasing strategies we use. We talk about what we call the exactly what to say for the real estate investor. And effectively, what that looks like is how to negotiate, right? What words to say, what are the typical objections and how to overcome those objections. We also make sure that you have the ability to find and fund and close those deals. You also get to meet several of the long-term members of the association who partner with the other members of the association, do deals with them, and provide funding. And then you also get a copy of our business blueprint, and I'll bring one up in the next couple of minutes. In fact, I don't know if Thomas can hear me in the front, but if he can, and if he can bring me a blueprint, that would be fantastic. And if he can't, then I'll have to go and get it myself and show it to you guys later. But what we're going to, hey, there he is. That's the magic of speaking it into existence, really loud and onto the microphone. So thank you, Thomas. So Thomas is going to bring in our real estate investor blueprint. So this blueprint that I'll hold it up, or I'll have Thomas hold it up and show you guys, is really the foundation of our personal business. And it goes through the 272 different things that we've learned since we started investing back in 2003. And as you look at this, you'll be able to tell that it was designed by an engineer turned real estate investor. And that's one of the ways that we can share with you guys the fastest route to be successful as a real estate investor, and do it with other local Texans who are actively investing here. And before you guys ask the question, well, how much is this going to cost me? Well, one of the things that we've done as part of the Real Estate Investor Association, especially over the last 18 months, is we've been giving you guys all of our training for free. Why do we do that? Why would we give free training? Why would I stand up here and give free training, free knowledge, free information? Why would I do that? Help me out. What? Network? Yes. What do I do with my network? I invest with them. Yeah. And when I invest with them, do I make money? Yes. Yeah. So guys, it was that first investor association. Olivia, I'll take that, please. It was that first investor association that I walked into that I got tribal knowledge, right? That I got the contacts, the contracts, and the contractors. And Olivia, I'm going to ask if you would unroll it and kind of stand here in front of, yeah, show it to them if you don't mind. And then I'll ask you to stand in front of here too as well. So you want to stand right here. So you more. Yeah. So for those of you guys who are online, this is the 272 different things that we've learned since we've been investing in real estate. And you can show it to some of the folks that are in the room as well. So we built this based on what we learned in our interactions as part of the Real Estate Investor Association. We built this to kind of really outline and look at and study our plan. And I'll tell you guys, again, if it were not for that first investor association, thank you, I appreciate that we walked into, we would not be where we are today, because it was there that we got those partners. It was there that we got that tribal knowledge. It was there that we were able to get the deals, to get the funding for the deals, and all the know-how for the deals. So it's one of the reasons why we do it for free. It benefits us at the end of the day as we give you guys information, you find deals. Some of these you'll do on your own, and then some of you guys will say, hey, I'd like to partner on a deal or sell a deal. We love buying deals from the members of our association. So for those of you guys who are watching online as well, I want to let you all know that you can join us for free as well. So normally we actually have a QR code. So I'll ask Thomas to walk around here in a couple minutes with our QR code. But you guys can go to texasstarterkit.com to get registered for that. So we have several meetings coming up because we invest throughout Central Texas. Our next meeting is going to be in Houston on September the 24th, 25th, and 26th. We have a meeting here in Austin on October the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we have a meeting in Dallas on October the 15th, 16th, and 17th. And we're going to do something kind of creative as we do this. And that is, we are going to do it both live in person, kind of like we're doing here tonight with all of you guys who are here with us. But we're also going to simulcast and broadcast it online. So you guys will be able to see it online as well. So if you'd like to sit with us, network with us, spend some time with us, and go through the training live, you're more than welcome to do that on any of those dates. Sometimes we find that people have friends, and we're going to just test this a little bit. Sometimes we find that people have friends in other locations, so they'll go to some of those other locations to be able to invest. And guys, as we go through the presentation, I'm going to go and do the market update. So as we go through and do, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So our next part of the presentation is the market update. And what we're going to do is we're going to share the market update for Austin, which is where we are tonight, but also for Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio, just so you can know what's going on in those other markets as well. So every week we do the market update where we show you the actuals from the prior month. And we'll also review the forecast, which we've done that a little bit already. So for overall Texas sales, I want to share with you guys the roll up first. The average price was up 18% year over year to $387,000. Number of closed sales was actually down 9.4% year over year. I've got a slide on the next page that will explain why that happened and why we might even see it down as we finish out the numbers for this month as well. Pending sales, which are our closest leading indicator of what closed sales will be next month, also down 3%. But our year-to-date sales are up 12% versus 2020, and our year-to-date average price is up 21.4%. Now, I do want to have you guys understand why the sales are down. So Mark Twain had many wonderful sayings, but probably one of my favorites as it applies to what happened to us this past month is lies, damn lies, and statistics, right? So we want to understand why sales are down. So we did see that 9.4% drop month over month. It's not that there's any terrible thing coming in the housing market. The decline was a result of obviously the worldwide disruption that we all lived through last year, still living through today. Remember that we had that record-setting surge of sales in July and in August of 2020 as those COVID-related lockdowns were lifted. Even though real estate was listed as something that we call essential, we were still for the most part locked down. And that what happened is there were a lot of pent-up demand and a lot of pent-up closes from March, April, and May that didn't come in and drop until July and in August. So again, that's the why behind why the sales are down year over year. But remember, those year-to-date numbers are still up. So I'll very quickly go through some of the other cities around Texas, and then we'll hit the Austin numbers as well. But if you are interested in investing in some of those other cities, or if you're joining us online and you're investing in one of those other cities, you can check out our YouTube channel to get all of the details for this. I'll just very quickly summarize. The sales price in Houston last month was up 15%, even though sales were down 6%. Year-to-date sales up 19% in Austin. Year-to-date average price up 18%. I'm sorry, in Houston. In Austin, the sales price was up 34. These are not typos here. The sales price was up average 34% year over year to $596,000. Sales were down 10%, so we lost about 400 sales year over year, but year-to-date sales are still up 11%, and the average price year-to-date is up 36% year over year. So some great numbers for us here in Austin. In San Antonio, the average price was up 18% year over year. Sales were down 9%, but the year-to-date sales are up 10%, and the year-to-date average price was up 17%. In the largest market, the Dallas and Fort Worth market, the average price was up 20% to $423,000, but sales were down 17%. Again, remember why. But those year-to-date sales are up 2% overall in Dallas, and the year-to-date average price is up 23%. So great numbers. If you take them relative to what kind of was going on last year, still really great numbers. So again, I'd love to invite you guys all to our real estate investing workshop. Our next workshop is coming up in Austin in October, but we've got several ones hitting before then. We'll go through the 12 strategies that we've learned to be able to stay successful in up markets, down markets, long sideways markets, and what I would call this market an upside down market. We'll be able to share with you our real estate investor blueprint. So we brought some blueprints that we had printed out tonight. So if you guys would like one of those blueprints, all you need to do is get signed up for that next workshop. You can just scan that QR code that's listed in the bottom right-hand corner, and we'll walk through with one if your camera can't picture or focus in on it. But you can also just head on over to texasstarterkit.com. And if you get signed up tonight, we will give you one of our blueprints to be able to share with you so you can use that in your investing. And again, for right now, because of every crazy thing that's going on in the world, we are doing that for free right now, but it is limited time because now we are going from online meetings to in-person meetings. So we're paying for this space. So very shortly, we're going to be asking you guys to share in the cost of that with us and join in with us as we do that so that we can all partner together, learn together, and continue to share those best practices that make us so successful. So if you have the weekend and any of these weekends, so the first one we have coming up is Houston, September 24th, 25th, 26th. Then we've got Austin, October 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then Dallas, October 15th, 16th, and 17th. Love for you guys to join us. If you just take a picture or pull out your camera, click on this, focus on it, you'll be taken to a little bit of a, what do we call a sign-up page for it, where we'll ask you guys a couple of questions because it's important for us to know where you are and where you want to go, because one of the things that we get to do as part of the association, something we've done for years, is to help you design your personal plan as a real estate investor. So it helps really to know where you are, and ultimately that will help us get you where you want to go. We call it our starter kit. So as part of our starter kit, we'll also build you your personalized blueprint so that you can have some time to study even before we get to our official class. So guys, as we get to the next presentation, I just want to thank you all for joining us and being part of what we do here at Texas REIAs.